Hi, Shinta.
Hi, Alison.
So nice to see you. So a little hello to Juvena, of course, first, who introduced us. Thank you so much,
Hi,
Juvena.
Juvie.
So yeah, I'm so happy to speak with you, Shinta. You have really an inspiring story. So as
Thank
I
you.
put in the intro, so you were sick of polio when you were a small girl, 4 years old, and you were
Yeah,
lucky not to get paralyzed, but unfortunately, you still got some post sickness
polio syndrome.
syndromes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that clearly reduce your ability to move around and especially on your legs. Um,
yeah.
and you did this amazing thing, which was to travel around your country on a modified scooter. So we're going to talk about that, obviously. But first, I'd like to ask you, especially as a disabled person, when you
Mm-hmm.
started, what brought you to motorcycle? How did you start even thinking about riding a motorcycle when you cannot work? Cannot walk? Sorry, cannot walk in the first place?
So basically, um, when I was growing up, I'm not allowed to, touch a scooter or motorcycle because it's seen as a dangerous. People think it's like my parents think it's so dangerous. You cannot. And I drive a car before, but with a car it's so hard. You need to find a parking, and then it's so hard. It's so long to walk. And in Asia, it's so easy if you have a scooter. You can go anywhere, and it's a lot cheaper. I had a two-car accident before, and then my parents decided like maybe you shouldn't drive a car because it's too dangerous. And but then again, it's so hard for me to go to work and everything using public transportation. So my father got the idea. Okay, why don't we modify the bike so you can go to work easily? And I was just like, okay. I remember I never ever ride a scooter before, never in my life. So the bike is ready. At that time, I really don't like my job. And then my friend telling me, why don't I teach you how to ride a bike, but we travel together. So we travel. I remember I went back to my parent house and then, okay, the bike is ready. I learned how to ride it. It was so scary. Even like just like little shoulder in the road, I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to fall. And
So
after a
how
week,
old were you at the time? How old were you at the time when you started riding the modified scooter?
I live in Bandung, but my parent house in Sumatra. So I went back
No,
to
no.
Sumatra to
How
get
old? How
how old?
old
Oh
were
yeah,
you?
28.
You were 28.
28.
Okay.
Yeah, 28. So I was 28. And then I was like, so I was just like, okay, a week. I learned how to ride my bike a week. And then from my parent house to the airport, my friends came and we're gonna travel together. And I remember I need to pick her up. And my father say, okay, why don't we pack the bike? We put it on a truck, and then when you meet your friends, my father even don't trust me at the time, like because I really don't know. I think I'm gonna fall from this bike all the time. But then again, my friends telling me, what's the point of having a bike if you're not riding it? So it was like from my parents' house to the airport, it was 174 kilometers. I remember like maybe around 30 kilometers, and then I fell from the bike. Like all the people who helped me, telling me, you have a four-wheelers. How come my bike, the way my father modified the bike is just like three at the back and then one at the front. So it's just kind of like four-wheelers. So everyone kept telling me that, why you already have four-wheeler? How come you fell still? And then I was just like laughing. You don't know, I just like learned this bike for a week. But then again, I kept going. I was terrified, but then again, I kept going. It was so scary because if you ever ride Sumatran Road, it's so many um buses, like big buses, like keep honking at you, and then they just like don't care about motorbike, and then a lot of trucks. But I did it, and then I'm so proud of myself. And then I traveled with my friend for 9 months, I think. um so he ride the bike, and then me, but I kept falling from the bike and it was so scary. But soon I'm able to ride my bike. I was thinking, because on my travel, I met, we're not just like traveling by bike, but also we backpacking at that time. So I met so many amazing people, like people who swim the Mekong River, and then people who do like cycling around the world in 3 months, or like all amazing people that I met. And then it's like, it's so inspiring. And I was just thinking, I really want to travel too, but then usually when you travel, I cannot explore the area because I cannot walk far away, right? So my leg is just, sometimes I can walk 1 kilometer, sometimes I can walk 2 kilometers. I never know. So, but I'm really struggling. So it's so hard. But having a motorbike, like it's kind of like having a new legs. So I can do stuff now. I can see stuff. I can go places, you know. So I was just like, I can do this. It was so hard because I'm kind of like city girl at that time. So to be able to just like from city girl move to the adventure girl who sleep everywhere, that was hard. But I did it, and it changed my life completely. It's like, it's amazing thing.
So
I'm glad I did it.
you are based in Bali, right? That's where you're originally from.
No, so I was born in Sumatra, but I growing up in Bandung, West Java. But now I live
Okay.
in Bali.
Now you live in Bali. Okay, I
Yeah, I live
understand.
in Bali.
So yeah, so you started learning how to ride, you started getting that sense of freedom and this ability to move around with your bike, but then and you were traveling with friends, but then you took that big decision to say, okay, now I'm going on my own. And I'm going on
Yeah.
my own, and you went on this 1 year journey with your
Mhm.
scooter 110cc, so it's not very powerful, and you went all over
No.
Indonesia, Brunei and West Malaysia, right?
Yep.
So why did you decide? Because you could have kept, riding around and riding with your friend and using motorcycle as a simple means of transportation, right? But
Hmm.
what pushed you, and why did you decide to start this travel, and more specifically on your own, on your motorcycle?
Because I've been told since I was little that I was nothing, that I'm not good at stuff, I'm not good at anything. And so I believe it until like I'm 28. I'm just gonna have like until I'm 30, I think. I still believe that I'm nothing. I'm not able to do stuff. Finishing this journey is just kind of like, and in the beginning, maybe in the beginning it's maybe because it was my dreams, in my dream to see other part of the world. It's not just the world, it's just like other part of Indonesia, because Indonesia is so huge. I really wanted to go to Papua, like see and then explore that and stuff. But I know it's so hard to go to Papua. It's so expensive, and I won't be able to explore it on my own legs. So I was thinking, with this bike, if other people can, I can do it too. So that's what, like, my decision. I nearly gave up though when I was in Kalimantan, like in Borneo, because this is the thing, right? I tell my father. I didn't tell anyone. I tell my friend that I'm going to go around Indonesia. But at that time, I was thinking I only have like little money at that time, enough for 4 months. So I was thinking I'm just gonna go for 4 months, and because I'm not gonna have enough money to support my journey, so 4 months would be enough. And then I remember a day before I left, I told my father I'm gonna leave tomorrow. And my father said, really? Are you serious? Yeah. And then my father said, okay. And then my father says, go take your bike to the garage to get it checked. So I went to the garage to get it checked. And then they broke my bike. So, so they broke my bike. Actually, they forced it. So my bike is like screwed in a weird way, screwed to the machine. So someone broke the attachment to the machine. So the bolt and then the screw came off. But it didn't. I really want to go. I don't care. So the next day, with the just like half a broken bike, I still go. I went and then I go. And I remember on the first day, and then it broke again. I replaced the ball and then the screw, and then it came off. That's my main problem. But I kept going. It was just like really frustrating. If you know, like Sumatran road, it was like so bad because I have a four-wheelers, and in Sumatra or in Kalimantan, like the road is just like the asphalt has a tire mark from the like kind of a bumpy thing, like the tire marks. So if you imagine, if you have a four-wheelers, my other two-wheelers, they're not just like, they don't work. They just like a stabilizer, you know? So you need to ride your bike in a certain way so you won't get stuck. It was so difficult. It was just like, it was so difficult. But because I really want to go, I really want to see stuff. So I just kept going. I remember when I was in Kalimantan, because the road, it was so bad. In Kalimantan, a lot of a mining place, right? Which is a lot of bad roads, basically. So I was thinking, my bike not gonna make it. I remember in some places, it was a steep hill, but I just like kept going really fast, but I cannot climb because my bike is only 110cc, right? Went back down and then I tried again like so many times. Just like, but it was so fun because I kept laughing at myself. And then it was just like, it was so funny. But it was also like, it was so fun.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, we always say that motorcycle is so fun, but yeah, I also know that sometimes you put yourself in tough situation and you're like, why the heck have I made that decision? You know? So
Yes.
there is,
Yeah, I know,
the
exactly.
starting point, the kind of ignition, you know why you want to do it, you want to prove to your family that you can do it, you want to explore the world for whatever motivation you had, you go, and then there is the end where you are so proud, you made it, you have amazing memories. And in the middle, you just forget all those really difficult moments in the middle, you know?
Actually.
It's a little
But
bit like
also,
life, but
yeah, but also you learn stuff, right? People
of
keep
course.
asking me, why are you doing this? You know, why you don't get a nice job and then just like work? And then I was just like, you know what? Like, it's the same thing as like school, you know? At the end of this journey, also, I'm also going to graduate and then learn a lot of stuff. And I realized it was so fun, and then it made me realize so many things that you don't need much stuff. I have too many stuff at the moment because I've been yeah, like back to life and stuff. But I realized when I was on the road, I only have 5 pairs of clothes, I think, maybe less. And you're wearing the same thing and you're so happy. So that's something that you don't get, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that totally makes sense. Like it makes you value different things, value the experiences, value the
yes.
yeah, the connections that you make on the road rather
Mm-hmm.
than the material possessions, right? It's really really spiritual sometimes.
Yeah,
But speaking
exactly.
of
It's like
connection,
therapy.
yes, exactly. And speaking of connections, actually, that might sound a little bit strange question, but I think we developed a particular affection and relationship with truck drivers on your way. Can you tell us a
Yeah,
bit more about
exactly.
that? Why?
Yeah, so basically in Indonesia, like if you're not in a town, because I sleep everywhere, right? So when I sleep everywhere, most of the places that I slept, there's also when the truck drivers stop. I love them because they don't bother me. They sometimes can be like cheeky and naughty and stuff because you're a girl, but they treated me like I'm their daughter. They protect me. It's so funny. Like sometimes I'm eating with them. I don't have to pay. If my bike broke, they just like calling their friends, and then suddenly my bike is on their truck. I don't have to pay penny, and they help me. And I've been sitting, sleeping, and a lot like spending a lot of time with them. And it's so interesting because we have the same thing. When I'm This is what I love the most about them. Like they understand you because they're also on the road. So one, if you're asking for what do you think about the road or whatever, ask the truck drivers because they know they've been like doing it every day. And also they never force you. They know you're tired. Like because sometimes I met people and then because of my bike and then all everything that I carry, I become like a center of the attention, and people just like keep asking you. Sometimes it's fun, but sometimes you get tired too, right? Like every night doing that, or just like it's not just one person. For example, if you met a family, they're gonna call the neighbors, and then you have to repeat your story again, and then the other neighbors coming, and then you don't get sleep. I love them, but then again, sometimes you don't get to sleep. But with the truck drivers, it's different. They talk to you, we just like have a chat, and then they always ask you like, go have some rest, tomorrow you're gonna ride again. So they're always like taking care of you, and they understand. So I feel like connected to them. Sometimes
That's
on the
interesting. That's interesting. That's
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
And also when we Indonesia is basically a lot of islands, right? So you need to cross from one island to another island, and usually it took like a long time, like 2 3 days, and we got bored on the ferry. So me and the truck driver, we fishing, we play cards, that kind of thing. So it's so fun.
So there's no really, like I was wondering, maybe because you were exceptional, or I don't know, or maybe because you were
Mm-hmm.
doing this kind of trip, but overall, how are women, do you know how women motorcycle riders are perceived in Indonesia? Like if you're a woman rider and you ride a big bike, because there are a lot of women who ride small bikes for
Mm-hmm.
transportation to go here and there, right? It's quite
Mm-hmm.
common. But for bigger bikes or women like adventure riders and so on. Like, do they face any particular challenge? Are they welcome? What is are there a lot of
I
women
think
riding? Is it common?
Yeah, I think the first challenge that I face, I think a lot of riders doing having this too. It's like because you're a girl, like I know my bike. I don't know mechanic very well, but I know my bike. I know which one is broken. I know this is not right. It's just like your body. After I spend like along every day, you know your bike. Even if you don't know any mechanic, I have no clue about mechanics. I learned it all on the way. But also like you know your bike, and they don't trust you because you're a girl. They don't listen to you because it happens to me so many times. I got just like you don't, I already told you this is my bike. I knew, you know what I mean, but they don't listen to you. That's the thing. And also for a girl, it's so hard. I This is my experience, like so many times people just like do not want to. I sleep everywhere, right? So people do not want to have you because you're a girl. Like they won't let you. For example, there was a few times. I think I was in dangerous area. If I'm in dangerous area, usually I went to a police station or like army base, basically a safe place, or like a civilian, like a house, a local house or something like that. But at that time, I went to a few police station, and then I asked the police, like, can I sleep here for tonight? And the police said, no, you cannot because you're a girl. People are gonna look bad on us, or like think, why there's a girl in the police station, and it's not good for you too. But I was thinking at that time, it's also not good for me if you let me outside, and
Yeah,
where I'm
yeah.
gonna go
Sometimes,
is
yeah.
already night.
Sometimes it's more it's interesting how we get more afraid, or some people might get more afraid from the societal,
Yes.
the societal expectations of what people might say, or you know,
Yeah.
are more worried about that rather than your actual security, right? They are
Yes,
more afraid about
exactly.
the talking, the chit chats, and the yeah. It's very.
That's I experienced that a few times actually. People says like it's really sometimes I have these annoying things like I love riding, so I do not want to stop. So I just like keep going. I know I have a schedule like okay, if the sun, let's say the sun set around 6 o'clock, at 5 o'clock I supposed to look for where I'm gonna sleep while it's not dark yet. But sometimes a few times that's not the case. I just like keep going and it's already night, and then I just like don't have options. So I just like do whatever, and I didn't really realize that was a dangerous area because I don't watch television, so I don't have the mindset and everything, so I just don't care. And but sometimes, oh, I need a place to sleep. So yeah, that happened to me a few times when people rejected me because I'm a girl. You're not allowed to. I remember once when I was in Malaysia, I think, um, because I can stay in a guest house, but also in some places people not as open, they scared of strangers and stuff. So it's so hard to find, it's so hard to sleep everywhere or like camp everywhere. So I can stay in a guest house, but the problem is sometimes the guest houses have a stairs and I have a lot of stuff on my bike. What I love the most is just like sleep next to my bike, so it's a lot easier for me. So I just want to see my bike. So usually I prefer to sleep outside. So at that time, I remember I found a mosque, and then I say, "Can I stay?" The mosque have like a big yard and everything outside, and then I say, "Can I sleep outside?" It took them like 7 men, I think more than that, an hour to just like keep asking me, "Are you alone? Where's your friend? Are you really alone?" Like they just like asking the same question. "We cannot let you stay here." And I was like, "I really, really don't have a place to stay. Can you just like please?" In the end, they let me stay there, but it's just like, what if someone raped you in here? And I was just like, well, I don't know. Shit happened. But it took them so long to just decide. And they still cannot believe that I'm a girl traveling on my own. I don't have anyone else, and I'm going to sleep outside that. It's just like still, they cannot think about it. It's just like unthinkable for them.
Yeah, sometimes
And
that's crazy. That makes me think a little bit of I was interviewing a lady rider, Israt, I think it was Israt from Bangladesh, and we were talking about the public transport there. And it's the same, like bus drivers who would not take women because they are afraid of something that might happen on the bus. They don't want to take the responsibility, instead of
yeah,
just
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
protect you, or instead of making just the world a safer place for us, then it's easier just to to push back and just say, yeah, just don't do that, or you cannot stay here. That's maybe a surprising. Oh, sorry, it's still
It's okay.
we have big
Storm.
storms at the moment. When it starts storming in here, it's pretty intense. So tell me, so those were some of the challenges and I guess really key difficulties. What would you say is your best memory, if you have one? Because I know it's difficult. In 1 year, you probably
I know,
had very nice
right?
moment, but maybe
Yeah.
one of, yeah, your top memory.
Okay, my top memory was I have so many, and then I'm so grateful that a lot of people open their houses for me and just like make me a family, like one of them. I'm so grateful. But also, one my top of memories like this. I've been crossing. Indonesia is a lot of islands, and you have to cross with the ferry and stuff. So the ferry is not always a good one. This is interesting one. This is because I've been, so basically, um, I want to go to Papua, and I need to get to this ferry. The ferry is not regular, so every 2 weeks they have one ferry that can carry your bike. So I was just like, okay, I cannot miss this ferry. I have to just like catch this ferry. And on the way there, everyone keeps saying to me that no, no, the ferry's still gonna leave tonight at 5. And then so I kept riding. I just like kept going. And then someone say, oh, they already left. And then someone made a call to the harbor and say, oh, they're still there. They're gonna leaving on 12. So I went there in the middle of the night at 1 o'clock. I think I arrived there at 1 o'clock. It was so dark. The road, it was just a forest and it's dangerous. I didn't know there's a lot of landslide. I just kept going because there's no light. It was just me. I remember at like 12 o'clock at night, maybe in midnight, I kept asking, like, I asked someone for direction, and someone just telling me that, like, what are you doing? Where are you going to go? I didn't tell people where I'm going to go and what I'm going to doing just in case people following me. I'm just like, where is it? And then I
So
kept going.
you were already in Papua New Guinea?
No, I was in it's in Maluku. In
Okay.
Maluku. So from Maluku, I want to cross to Papua.
Okay.
They have a ferry. So they have a ferry, and I remember on the road because it was so dark. I have to slow down because so many cows and goats in the middle of the road. They're sleeping on the road basically. So when you ride, you have to be like watch out for the cows because they sleep there. So I arrived there. Turned out there's no ferry. They already left. So I need so they already left. And that night I stay at the jail because I went to the police station because it's already middle of the night. The police cannot believe that I'm riding my bike in the middle of the night. There's so many landslides. And I was just like, okay. And the police let me stay in the police station, but I need to stay in a jail with another girl who was arrested because I'm a girl. And then okay. So I stay in a jail. I stay in a jail that night, and then I had to wait on that island for a week for another ferry. So the ferry came, like the ferry, I have waited a week, and then the ferry, I was so excited because this is my first time I'm going to Papua and stuff. So it's so interesting. I thought the ferry usually, if they carry a car or they carry an animal, it's gonna be on the truck, right? This is not on the truck though. So the so I went to inside. So this is just like long, Roro ferry. So it's just like, yeah, so it's Roro ferry. And then they already placed me. You have to choose. There is no seat or anything. You just like choose where you're gonna um sit. So I just like choose that corner. I'm gonna sleep and then sit on that corner. And then we waited. While we waited, and then the captain said, "You have to stand up. Everyone needs to stand up and ready." I didn't realize, and then they put like cows. Maybe there's like 20 cows next to me. You just like a cows. It's just a huge bull. It's just like 20 bulls, and it's so interesting on that ferry. There was so many animals. You have goats, you have lobsters, you have chickens, birds, every animal thing that you can think of, like in every corner. I choose to sleep next to the cows because I think it's not gonna be so smelly. I cannot stand the goat smell because it's too strong, right? Everyone, and it's 3 nights. It's 3 days. I think it's 3 days, 2 nights ferry ride. So everyone just feels sorry after a day. The cow just like poo and pee pee everywhere, just like next to me, basically. And it was so interesting and it was so funny, and that's just my favorite memory because I never experienced that. And I just keep
That's interesting
laughing.
for a favorite memory. I think for many people that would be nightmare.
Yeah, I was just like after a few, you just adjust it, and it was just like I don't smell it anymore, and people feel sorry for me and says like maybe you can move to the goat side, and I said I cannot stand the goat smell, so I'm just stay with the cows.
Okay, and when you stayed you say you stayed a week before catching the boat. So did you stay the
Mhm.
whole week sleeping at the jail with
No,
the
no,
women?
only one night, and
Ah,
then only
okay,
one night. So now on that village, they don't have a water at the time,
okay.
something like. And then I went to another village. When I went back to another village, that's when I realized that the road was so dangerous, the one that I went last night, and I was just like I could die, fell from to the gorge and didn't realize it.
Yeah, okay.
But it was so fun.
Cool. And so this woman prisoner, was she nice to you? Did you feel
Yeah, she was.
safe?
But the thing is, like in there, a lot of assault, between like family and stuff. That's the highest case. So they have like anger issue in East Indonesia, maybe. I don't know. So mostly the crime is just like the assault between the family. They drinks usually, and then after they drink, because they drinks, and then they become angry. They become friends
Yeah.
before they drinks, and then they drinks, and
Yeah,
that
yeah, but
happens.
I guess, I mean, I bet you are angry when you get sold like a product.
Yeah.
Like I can understand the anger. And tell me, so during your trip, you said you learned a lot.
Yeah.
What were your key lessons, the key lessons that you learned on this 1 year motorcycle trip? And is there anything that if you had to do it again, you would do differently?
Yeah, maybe like what I do differently. Maybe if I probably gonna, so usually I stay a lot because I was on very limited budget, and I realized with my body I got tired a lot, and I think it's really really important to maybe um 1 week you have a rest day, just like not riding, just like resting, sleeping, whatever you're comfortable. It's so important, especially in long distance. And what I want to do differently is it's just like slower. But then again, it's gonna take like many years.
Yeah, but that's all about,
But
we all know, motorcycling is all about the journey. So it's not so much where you reach, but it's what you do along the way, right? So
yeah.
it doesn't matter how much you take. I mean, honestly, I think I can't think of any of my motorcycle travels where I wouldn't have liked to take more time anyway,
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Yeah.
I'm not very surprised about this lesson in a way. And do you
Yeah.
have any new motorcycle project or new motorcycle dreams? Do you have any
Okay.
motorcycle?
My dream is, yeah. This is I just like doing the visions, like what you're gonna do in 5 years and stuff. I really, really wanted to ride from here to Europe and then come back, like around the world if it's possible. But if it's not, but yeah, it's a bit slower, just but it won't be have enough time. But yeah,
What would you need to do that?
money. Everyone
That's
needs
it.
money. Yeah, I mean, like, if I got the money, if someone say if there's no corona, obviously. But then again, if someone, I always ready, like mentally, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to be on the road and then leave all the comfort behind and just like sleep on the road. The funny thing is just like I really, really miss traveling so much. Like recently I've been thinking to just like buy a tent just because so I can just like sleep in the tent, just so I'm so bored.
To have this
So that's,
traveling feeling. Yeah, I see what
yeah.
you mean. Yeah.
I know like when you travel sometimes you miss like, okay, I miss my bed, I miss like the clean shit and stuff, but also when you're at home it's just get, oh my god, I miss on the road so much. It's
So, what would you say to women like you who think that they are not capable of, or who have? Because again, like I'm talking with you, and every time I completely, totally forget that you have on top of that this disability, like physical difficulties, that is an extra challenge for you, and at the same time you've got this such amazing, strong mindset, and so I'm wondering, like, what would you tell a woman who would love to ride bikes or who would like to travel the world and they just feel they are not capable of, or their family tell them that they cannot do it, or they have some self doubts? What would you tell them?
I think like also it's a cultural thing that I understand. I met so many women that telling me that they wanted to travel too, but their family won't let them because they're a woman. Basically, you're a girl, you cannot do that. It's too dangerous. Um, Also, I think what important is like I know every culture is different, but I think if you can prove to your family, I mean, that you're capable. Maybe just do little right first and show them that you're okay. You can be responsible, and I think they can. Um, for me personally, like I don't really close to my family, and my father was okay. I'm leaving and stuff, so it was it was a lot easier, obviously. But I know about people just because they depend on their family. I don't really have any advice about that. But if it's just in your head, if this problem is just in your head that you're scared, if you're too scared, if you're not sure what's gonna happen, if it's just that, I think it's it's just in your head. You know what I mean? Just like all the fear is just on your head. It's not real. And I know how people have some difficulty to just like get over their fears, but there's gonna be on the road, there's gonna always something, you know. Even when you sleep, you're gonna die. This is I keep telling myself that. Even when you sleep, you can die anyway. What is the difference, you know? We know we're going to die, but a lot of people do not want to admit that we're going to die. It's so taboo that to talk about it. It just depends. You choose how you want to die. You know what you know. What I mean, do you want to live your life, or just want to exist in this life? It's all up to you. It's your choice. But for me personally, it's bring me a lot of happiness. It heals me. It changed my life completely because before I keep saying to people that I started to live when I was 30. Before that, I was just dead. I'm like, it's so funny though, because my whole life, I always wanted to die. I have depression. I was diagnosed with major depression when I was 22. And I always telling people that, like my close friends, that I wanted to die when I was 30. I did die though. The old me was died. And then like there's a new me. And it's just like, it helps you. It's a lot, it works better than therapy. But it's not always like, it's not always traveling, you know what I mean? You can do whatever you want. It's just like, believe in your dreams. That's important, and do something about it. It don't have to be like riding motorcycle. It can be like anything else. But for me, traveling is just help a lot.
That's a beautiful story. It resonates a lot. I think, yeah, you're right. It's better than therapy, definitely. Yeah, I don't think I have anything to add. I think your words are very powerful, and you're right. It's a lot in the mindset, right? And you definitely
Yeah.
prove that anything you want is possible if that's something that drives you, and that's this power we can find inside when we face adversity, when we have challenges in life, is really powerful.
It's funny though, because like I always thinking that I'm not capable of doing anything, because people telling me that, right, since I was little. So I believe it. But after this journey, I was thinking, hey, I did like a year and I slept everywhere. I was like out of my comfort zone, and I did it. And it's not proving to everyone else. It's completely changed my belief that I'm not capable. Yeah. So I was just like, hey, turn out, if you set your mind to do it, you can do it. And that's changed my life completely. And the same thing, I wheeling my wheelchair for 530 kilometers, like manual wheelchair before too. When I started using wheelchair, my biggest fear was my whole life I walk funny, right? And then, but I still can walk. And my biggest fear was to use a wheelchair, like not able to walk again. That's my biggest fear. And suddenly I had to use a wheelchair, and it was so hard. It was so, I was angry. I was depressed. But then again, after a month, I thought, I'm going to learn how to ride this wheelchair properly. And then I talked to so many people who riding, like who willing, like wheelchair user, and I feel sad. I do not want to be like that too, you know, like to be limited. And I turn around this, my fear, or like my struggle, my anger and everything. I just figured out how to ride wheelchair properly. I learned how to climb the stairs, use the, you know, like climb the curves and everything. Now my wheelchair also has become my new legs. And I can walk like many, many kilometers with my wheelchair, and it makes me happy. And that's also when I did it, when I said to people, I'm going to wheel my wheelchair from Jogja to Jakarta, which is 530 kilometers with my manual wheelchair. No one believed me. And then people just like, why you do that? You're joking, right? That's not true, right? Because the road is also, Indonesia, it's not accessible. So when I say wheeling my wheelchair, also wheeling it on the asphalt, like other people with the bus, with the cars and everything. So people just like, no, that's not happened. That's not true. But then I did it. I trained myself. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day because I cannot afford the personal trainer. I remember I live in Jakarta at the time, and Jakarta is so, traffic is so crazy. The only way to train myself is if I woke up early and then start training at 4 a.m. to 7. So I did that every night. And it was, and then I say, I'm ready now. So I planned my journey and I did it. And it's just more to myself that I'm so proud of myself that I can do it. So now I'm just like, whatever you set your mind to, you can do it.
I think those are beautiful and amazing words to close that chat with you, that interview. Thank you so much, Shinta. I
Thank you,
enjoyed that
Alison.
conversation so much. And yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you in a real person one day. And if you come back to Malaysia, please ping me. I'd love to take you on a bike ride on my holiday.
Sure. Are you in Kuala Lumpur, right? Yeah, sure.
Take care,
Thank you
Shinta.
so much.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye.